Leo, can I ask you something? Why is it so hard for me to speak English, even when I know the words?
That's a really good question. A lot of people feel this way. You know many words, but when you try to speak, your brain stops for a moment.
Yes, that's exactly what happens. I know the word, I know the grammar, but when I open my mouth, nothing comes out.
I think I know why. When you speak, are you thinking in your first language first?
Hmm. Yes, I think so. My brain just thinks in my language first, and then I try to change it into English.
That's the problem. Your brain is doing two jobs at the same time. First, it makes a sentence, then it changes the sentence into English. That takes a lot of time and energy.
So, what should I do instead?
You need to train your brain to think in English directly, not translate. Just think in English, even if it's simple.
That sounds difficult.
It is difficult at first, but it gets easier with practice. Today, let's talk about how to do this, step by step. So, the first step is stop translating in your head.
But how? My brain always thinks in my language first.
I understand. This happens to everyone, but you can train your brain to skip that step.
How do I train it?
Start with very simple thoughts. Don't try to make perfect sentences. Just use easy words that you already know.
Can you give me an example?
Sure, if you see a cup on the table, don't think about the full sentence in your language first. Just look at the cup and think, cup. Then think, this is a cup.
That sounds too simple.
Simple is good. Your brain doesn't need a perfect sentence. It needs practice connecting things directly to English without translating.
So instead of thinking a long sentence and changing it, I should just start with small, easy thoughts?
Exactly. Small steps build a strong habit. If you always try to make perfect sentences first, your brain will always go back to translating.
That makes sense. Small and simple first.
Right. And over time, your brain will start to skip the translation step by itself. Here's another really helpful way. Talk to yourself in English.
Talk to myself? Like out loud?
Yes, it sounds strange, but it works really well.
When should I do this?
You can do it anytime. When you're cooking, walking, or cleaning your room, just describe what you're doing in English.
Can you show me an example?
Sure, if I'm making coffee, I might say, now I'm adding water. The coffee smells good. I need a spoon.
That's so simple, but I never thought to do that.
Most people don't, but this is a great way to practice speaking without pressure. No one is listening, so you can't make a mistake in front of anyone.
I like that. No pressure.
Exactly. And when you do this every day, your mouth and brain get used to making English sentences quickly.
So it's like exercise for my brain.
Yes, that's a perfect way to think about it. Just like your body needs exercise to get stronger, your brain needs practice to speak English more naturally.
I will try this today. Maybe I'll talk to myself while I cook dinner.
That's a great start. Even 5 minutes a day can make a big difference.
Leo, sometimes I learn a new sentence, but I forget how to use it the next day.
That happens because you only used it once. Your brain needs practicing many times to remember something well.
So I need to say the same sentence many times?
Yes, not just reading it, you need to say it out loud again and again until it feels easy.
How many times should I repeat something?
There's no exact number, but the goal is to say it until you don't have to think about it anymore. It just comes out naturally.
That takes patience.
It does. But this is how children learn language too. They hear the same words and sentences many times before they can use them easily.
I never thought about that. Kids don't study grammar rules, but they still learn to speak.
Exactly. They learn by hearing and using words many times, not by memorizing rules.
So maybe I should stop worrying so much about grammar and just practice speaking more.
That's a good idea. Of course, grammar's helpful, but speaking more, even with small mistakes, will help you improve faster.
Okay, I will try to repeat useful sentences every day instead of learning new ones all the time.
That's smart. It's better to speak a few sentences really well than to know many sentences but feel unsure about all of them.
Leo, I think one big problem for me is fear. I'm afraid to make mistakes when I speak.
I understand that feeling. A lot of learners feel the same way.
I worry that people will laugh at me or think I'm not smart.
But think about this. When a baby learns to walk, they fall many times. No one laughs at them. People are happy for them because they know falling is part of learning.
That's true.
Speaking English is the same. Mistakes are part of learning. They don't mean you are failing.
But it still makes me feel shy sometimes.
That feeling is normal. But if you wait until you're perfect to speak, you will never speak. Your brain learns best by trying, even when it's not perfect.
So I should focus less on being right and more on just talking to people?
Yes, exactly. If people understand your message, that's already a success, even if your grammar isn't perfect.
That makes me feel a little better.
Also, remember that most people are kind. They usually don't care about small mistakes. They care about the conversation.
I will try to remember that next time I feel nervous.
Every time you speak, even with mistakes, your brain is learning, so mistakes are actually helpful, not something to be afraid of. Let's talk about some small habits that can help you every day.
Yes, please. I want simple things I can actually do.
First, try to think in English for a few minutes every day. You can start with easy thoughts, like what you see around you.
Okay, simple thoughts, not full sentences.
Right. Second, talk to yourself when you are alone. Describe your actions, your day, or your feelings.
I remember that one. No pressure. No one is listening.
Exactly. Third, choose a few useful sentences and repeat them until they feel easy and natural.
Practicing again and again, not just learning new things all the time.
Yes. And last, remind yourself that mistakes are okay. Speaking more, even with mistakes, is more important than speaking perfectly but rarely.
These habits sound simple, but I think they can really help.
They can. The key is to do them every day, even for a short time.
I think today I learned that training your brain to speak English is not about knowing more words, it's about practicing in a new way.
Exactly, Emma. Your brain needs the right kind of practice, not just more information.
I feel more confident now. I think I can really do this.
You can. Just take it one small step at a time.
So, to everyone watching, maybe we can all try this together.
That's a great idea. Why don't you write one sentence in the comments about what you learned today? It could be about thinking in English, talking to yourself, or not being afraid of mistakes.
Yes, please share it with us. We would love to read your comments.
And if you keep practicing these small habits, your brain really will start to speak English more naturally.
Thank you for watching, and see you next time.